Being 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Want to
Changes?
add a correction or to, an addition to the number 7 on the farm safety donation of 1225 to add another 2870 that came in after the agenda was printed, so those two totals will be put together, so 2870 will be added on to the 122025.
Outstanding. Motion to approve with the amendment.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the board minutes from March 17th, 26?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. Is there anybody at this time would like to make a public comment? Come forward and state your name, please.
Yvonne Krogstad from Spring Grove.
Ron? Is this for the audit?
No,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, you got your time to do it then too, but.
yeah, no. I don't know how many county residents are aware that the board approved a courtesy car for the airport. I believe that if a person comes to the airport for business, the people they're doing business with should provide that transportation. If they come for pleasure, either relatives or friends should provide that courtesy. The county taxpayers should not be responsible for the expense of the car and maintenance. I realize the city is providing the insurance, but the car and the maintenance is still an expense that the taxpayers should not have to pay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. So we want to make a motion to go have a public hearing?
I make a motion, we go into a public hearing. Are we, well, we're not quite there yet, are we?
Got 2 minutes.
Minute and a half.
Better wait.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda while we're waiting?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Anybody else got any discussion on it?
Oh, we should have a discussion for a little bit here.
Yeah. Anybody see anything on there that they would?
We have 63 seconds to talk about it.
No.
I love the way you
Well, I
draw
can't,
that out.
everything looks fine. I mean, I'm glad to see Dan Coogan as being off probationary and regular, so
Absolutely.
he's been a good addition for a county attorney's office, so.
He was, yeah.
And looks like we got somebody in recycling for a lead worker. That's a good deal.
Public health nurse.
Yep.
Very good.
Well, all in favor, let's say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Consent agenda goes. All right, I think we got 10 seconds. We can almost make a motion and get going on the public hearing.
I make a motion, we go into public hearing regarding the proposal to change the office of recorder and auditor treasurer from elected positions to appointed positions pursuant to Minnesota statute. Whatever that is. Brent?
Second.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Cindy. Okay, I guess we are in public hearing. Anybody here would like to speak?
Just a quick mention about the public hearing, reason we have another one that today is by Minnesota statute. We have to have one on the same, agenda as the voting of that.
Come on up.
Yvonne Krogstad again. I believe that if you pass this resolution, you are taking away another right of the citizens of the county. Thank you.
Is there a time limit? We gotta have
Nope.
You have a
a time limit?
former commissioner went on and make a comment on this? Okay.
Bob Burns, Caledonia. As far as taking those positions and making them appointed instead of elected, in the case of an elected person filling those positions, you don't know what you're going to get as far as quality of expertise. When you do appointment, you can look and see what their record is, what their capabilities are, and you have a better quality of employee as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's okay to switch from elected to appointed. You know what you get.
Well, I guess if nobody else got anything to say, somebody want to make a motion to come out of the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to come out of public hearing.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Out.
Opposed? Okay, public hearing is over. We'll go back to action items. Consider, number one, consider approving a resolution number 26-12, making the position of auditor treasurer appointed pursuant to Minnesota statute 375A.1205. Brent?
Yeah, so this is, this would be the action item for the auditor treasurer, from elected to appointed. If passed by supermajority, so it'd be, need to have the 4 out of the 5. If that were to pass, then there would be a 30-day wait where citizens could petition, to have that back overturned with 10% of the, previous general elections voting population. So, after that 30-day stay, in that 30-day window, that's when it would become effective automatically, wouldn't have to come back to the Board of Commissioners.
So it's 10% of the voting population of the last general election.
Yeah,
You have any number on that?
don't.
Holly, do you remember?
I think about, was it 1,000 registered?
Okay.
I'll vote. I thought it was.
Eligible voter? You said, did somebody say that?
I thought it was 10% of the previous election who voted.
Yeah,
Right.
it's, yeah, who voted in the general election, yeah. Yeah, I don't have, yeah, so.
We'll have to get that number.
Yeah, so essentially, we would need a motion and a second, and then a roll call vote for auditor treasurer, make that, appointed instead of elected.
We're wanna make a motion?
Well, we could have a discussion too, can't we?
Yep.
I think we've had months of discussion on this, a lot of input and gathering of information from what other counties are doing as well. I know Brent, coordinator, has brought forward a lot of the data from other counties. I've talked to dozens of people, many people have given me comments on both ways that they see it. Understanding that I truly believe that people need to have their right to vote, understanding that. I also understand that from a county business perspective, it's very good to have people that work in these offices have the skills and have the abilities to run that office. Also some consistency. I think sometimes in political or the elections, there are people that run for offices that are not qualified. And the voters may or may not vote them in unknowingly. Also, the way the state and most states work with elected officials, there's very little guidance that we can give as a board or as citizens that vote for that person to make sure they're doing what they're doing in their role. The state statutes are pretty minimal for an elected official to do what they need to do in these positions. So, given that, from a, like I said, a county business perspective, I like the idea of having some ability to oversee that person in that role, and if they are not successful in doing what they should be doing in that role with their skills or service to the county, that they also can be relieved of that position or replaced. Also, we have a HR process now that is very diligent in making sure that people are evaluated, performance evaluation, their skills, their training is done. So therefore, it's in my opinion that I would favor making this an appointed position.
So just a question to you, Brent. So if this were to be an appointed position, this would be treated like a department head position?
Correct.
So which the county board would have to do the interview?
Correct.
Have the decision of who we appoint, correct?
Correct. Because the two individuals that are in those positions now are an interim basis. So they would have to go through that process to officially appoint that position, which we'd have to go through that process.
It would be open to the public, correct? I mean,
Correct. We would have to-
it'd be opened up for
Yep.
anyone
Other
who would
positions.
want to apply.
Correct.
And they would have to be qualified to be interviewed and, yeah.
Correct. Yep.
I believe historically, we've had qualified people that have run for election. In the vacancies that we've had, we have a mechanism that's set up by state statute that we can either have a special election or an appointment, and we've never had a problem in Houston County. And, if it's not broke, I don't believe we should fix it.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I agree with what everything Cindy said there. I've come to that. I've come to what, I used to be the other way. I didn't want to take that right away from the elected, and let the voters decide. I didn't want to take that away. And I still struggle with this one because this is probably the toughest decision that I've had to face here, because in the beginning, I've fought against doing this just for that reason. And there's that A little bit of concern on my part that it'll become union. That concerns me as well. But if everything's documented correctly, that should be able to be handled. The roles of auditor, treasurer, and recorder have gotten very complicated. The state's mandating a lot of new things that come down. And it boggles the mind of how much more complicated it is. I like the idea of being able to, as a board, to reshape auditor, treasurer. I mean, we did that once already. I didn't. It was previously, we combined the offices of treasurer and auditor. I like the idea of being able to reshape them offices to move people where they need to be that are experts in their field. Not to say that it isn't happening now. I'm just, there's some counties that they don't even have an auditor treasurer. They have a land use office. They have other ways of doing it that's, fulfills the requirements by state statute. So, I like the idea of that. Yeah, so it's a tough one.
It is.
I don't like taking the right away from people to vote for it. And like Bob said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there's always that concern of who's gonna, you have to trust the voters, and we've been pretty good at that, of who we elect. So. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. It's a tough one.
That was an excellent speech. Probably.
Almost kind of political.
Your turn now.
That was so professional. I agree with you. This is an extremely tough decision. What it comes down to for me is I have not forgotten who I represent. And I am listening to the people that I represent. And at this time, it's hard for me to go against the right of the people to vote.
Guess it's my turn, huh? Well, I guess, I kind of like the things the way it's set up now. We can't do much changing when it's elected. And that's the only thing. And one thing I do like about it is if we do open this up, anybody from the county can apply too. So that's another good thing. So, I mean, if people think that they should run for it, well, they can apply for the job.
It's true.
We're not shutting anybody off that way. And, that's kind of why I'm in favor of appointment.
It's probably an easier avenue for people who would like to do the job, but don't really want to do the work of campaigning and working at trying to get votes to do it versus they'd rather go through the interview process and show their talents in an interview. That's a possibility, I think, for some people.
I agree with that. And, in talking to people that have been in these roles, not just who we have now, but in other areas of the state or of other states, it's interesting because the question that I ask is who do you work for? Who do you look at who you work for? And of course, they work for the residents of the county. But when several of them have told me that when they're working on the election, they are also talking to people, and getting that information from citizens that are voting for them, but they are so focused on getting the vote that they aren't necessarily focused on the work. And those that are appointed focus on what they're doing and making sure that they're doing a good job, because as a group, all the department heads, all the, the board members report to the county. So, that's, I agree with, that there's two ways to look at it, definitely. But like I said, from my perspective, I've heard some negative stories about people that they just want a county job. And they think it's more of a popular election, and maybe it is not, but that is how some people perceive that they want someone in there to make a difference. And really, what they're doing is they're not running the county. These positions are not. And they're working with other teams. So if they don't have that ability, and if they want to do it autonomously, it's not going to work for them. So it's hard. It's hard to, look at this and see the future if we need to change. But I also think that we need to be accountable for what happens within the county government, and make sure that we have the right people in the right roles, and they're not in it for the wrong reason.
Well, as far as, like you said, for accountability, being that they're elected, we really don't have any control of accountability.
No.
Whereas if we were appointed position, we have some control.
Well, we can cross-train, there's a lot of stuff we can do when we appoint them. But if you elect them, you're kind of shutting the door on some of that.
Right.
Yeah, it's surprising. I don't think, any of us that are voters understand necessarily that the limits that are on elected officials, that there are some requirements that they have to report, one day a year, basically, and there's less constringent requirements in an elected official's role. That's what worries me.
We haven't seen our sheriff since December 31st.
Well, anyway. And I'm not just talking about here. This is, like I said, we've been talking about this a long time and researched other areas.
Right. And there's a fair number of counties that have done this.
What do you say, 60%?
Over 60.
Yeah.
Or 60?
Appointed, yeah.
I remember when they changed the statute to allow this to happen, because it was lobbied by AMC to do this. I think that was the first year I became commissioner, and I didn't like that. I didn't think it was a good idea. Why are we doing this? But I heard the arguments, but at that time I didn't, couldn't see it. But it's, I've come around to seeing the benefits and the advantages of doing it. And if it's done right, and the accountability factor can be utilized and, through the unions, I think it would work.
Any more discussion? Someone want to make a motion to appoint the auditor treasurer or elect it?
I'll make a motion to
For appoint?
adopt this resolution
We have been for a while now, yeah.
Yeah, they came out of public
Yeah.
hearing.
at 9:07.
Yeah, did we do that?
We did?
Yeah, we did.
9:07.
Yeah, okay.
You did, and Kurt.
Kurt made the motion.
Yep,
Yep.
Right?
yep, we're
Yeah.
good.
Everybody take a breath, it's all good.
Carol got me really worried there for a second.
Yeah, I did too. I thought,
It's okay. It's good to ask.
oh, we just did it in reverse, Carol. We just had a discussion first.
Well, we have a motion to go with appointed. Is there a second? a second? I'll second it, I guess. Any more discussion? Guess we'll do roll call, Allison.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
No,
District 5.
Yes.
So it fails due to lack of a supermajority.
Okay. So we have to do these elections in November, correct?
Yeah, so the auditor treasurer will just be up for election in November.
Anybody else got anything more to say about this situation before we move on? Okay, number 2, consider approving a resolution 26-13, making the position of a recorder appointed pursuant to Minnesota statute 375, A-205.
Yep, so this is the same thing as we just had, but this would be for the position of recorder opposed to auditor treasurer.
Well, we kind of already discussed a lot of it already, so.
Well, I would vote for consistency between these positions and make sure that they're either both elected or they're appointed. So, but I still have the same opinion on this as I did with the other position as far as the jurisdiction and making sure that the right person is in the right role. So, but I would not move forward with a resolution to make this appointed if the other one is not either.
Second to that?
I'll second that.
More discussion?
I agree, we should make this consistent.
All right, we'll do roll call.
District 1,
Are we voting yes, yes, or not to approve?
correct.
Yeah.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
A yes is not to approve?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Just want to make sure.
District 4,
yes.
District 5.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 3, to discuss and consider purchasing a land notification program. The total initial cost would be $11,000. The annual fee moving forward would be $1,500. Michelle Werner, please.
Good morning. I guess I've brought up this land notification a little bit in our land use office. I'm not sure that everybody's aware of what it is. So it's another program with our current vendor that we use for our indexing of our land records. What it would do is it would send out an alert either by text or email, depending on how you choose to set it up. And you can choose it up to be alerted by name or parcel ID or both. So it will, if a document is recorded in our office, then it would send you a text or an email saying that a document's been recorded. It will give you the document number and it will give you the document type, so you would know, okay, is it a deed, is it a mortgage, is it a satisfaction, what was recorded? Ideally, if our land record system worked nicely with our credit card system, they could just go on to Landshark and they could be a casual user and they could get the document themselves and see what was filed. Those two programs don't really work nice together right now. So they could call our office and they can get either a copy of the document, or I would say that since they know what was filed, they're gonna know, yeah, I did do a deed, or I did, satisfy or pay off my mortgage or whatnot. So, I mean, I think they'll know what they're doing. This is gonna be something that would be offered free to our constituents in our county, which I think is a good thing. Like it stated here, the initial cost is gonna be $11,000. And then moving forward, it would be $1,500. I would imagine going forward that cost could increase. But right now, it has been consistent at $1,500 for the last couple of years. I do have money in a technology fund that I could use to pay for this, so I don't think this would be an additional cost to the county. It could come out of that fund to pay for it. I guess the only other thing I can say is this is an after the fact notification. So it isn't, if something's coming in and getting recorded, it's already done.
Right.
So it
not
is
preventive.
It's not preventative.
Right. But I do believe that that is still something that is important because then you can act quickly on it and, see what's happening, and hopefully if it was a fraudulent transaction, that you can get help to
To fix it, rectify it, yep.
correct. Yep.
Will this help with your job, Michelle? Simplify it a little bit, easier?
Probably not right away. Just, to learn the process and then to help people through it. If somebody is not tech savvy to set this up, this is something that our office we could set it up for people.
Sure. And it really it's really a benefit for the citizens of Houston County.
Right. We've been getting more phone calls, where mom is an elderly person and now they've been on the phone for 2 hours with somebody and mom gave all of her information to that person and now they're worried. So this is a good way for them to set up to, say, okay, yep. I think I did tell you that a person with a vacant property along the river, a local real estate person had been contacted to sell the property. They thought that was a little suspicious, so they contacted the landowner. The landowner said, no, we are not selling that property. So that person has been very concerned and has been calling the office regularly to see, has a document been filed? Something like this would help us that, we don't have to answer that phone call every week. I was a little surprised when I went to conference at how many counties throughout the state do offer this already. I did look in our own district, District 9. We have 10 counties in our district, and Fillmore County, I believe, does not have it, and we do not have it. The rest of the counties do, so that's Olmsted, Winona, Freeborn, Dodge, Goodhue, Mower, and Wabasha, and Steele County.
I feel that when you mentioned that constituents are asking us for a way to safeguard or monitor this to make sure it prevents, it actually is kind of a red flag when something like that happens, that we are obligated to make sure that if there's something available, that we protect that before it gets so far down the road. It's also may create more work initially, but also it's kind of a technology safeguard that we need to think about, and it's minimal cost to make sure that this isn't done in our day of cyber attacks and everybody using every type of system to get in and steal something, or especially something valuable like property, or make documents appear real that are fake. I think it's the least we can do to make sure that we do something to prevent this from getting any further.
And I don't think it's going to get any better moving forward.
It's unfortunate we have to do it.
Given what's been going on in the world with all this kind of stuff, fraudulent stuff, so For $11,000, I think it'd be a good investment to service for our constituents to use. How would we advertise to let people know that they could do this? Is there a way of getting the word out?
Yes, I was thinking our website that we can have, the vendor that we use, they do have, not the biggest fan of those QRLs, but they do have a code that you could put on the website that would take them right to it. We could just have a link right in our website and the recorder's page to it. The vendor does provide, some brochures and different things that we could put out. We could put out at the window. I would assume that we could talk with the newspapers, and have it put out there. I know the tax notices have gone out already, but, that could have been another option, you know, if we wanted to.
Yep.
Even next year, we could put like a flyer in with the tax notices.
Which is actually a good thing to alert anyone that wants to defraud, you know, or do this to someone's property, that they would know that there is something in place that we have too. So, because they could research that to see if there's anything that we have that prevents this from happening.
And I guess just to be clear too, this is something that they will have to go out and set it up. It isn't just an automatic, you know, we don't have everybody's information, but they'll have to go out and, like I said, either set up, put their email in or put a phone number in.
So we would need to clearly communicate that it's not an automatic.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do some
Yep.
work.
Yeah, and just make it easy, kind of a cheat sheet of how you do this. If
Yes,
you want to opt in.
One benefit of being a little slower maybe to the draw on this is that they did make updates. Our vendor did make updates to this program. So you used to have a certain email address in order to be able to do it, and now they're accepting, I think, anything. So they've made improvements to it, so.
That's okay. Get the bugs out.
Yep, yep.
Well, you got the money, we got the money, so we don't have to take anything out of the budget.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
And a second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and I encourage you to run for office.
Nice plug.
All right, consider approving the low quotes for Nest Plumbing and porta potty rentals for both Wildcat Park and Botcher Park. Brian?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
We went out for quotes for porta potty usage. So at Bob Butcher Park, we have one porta potty for 6 months out of the year. And then for Wildcat, throughout the camping season, we have 3 regular porta potties and 1 handicap bathroom down there. So the prices came in with Nest Pumping and porta potty rentals was the low quote for both Wildcat and Bob Butcher Park. For Wildcat, the price was $2,853.56 for the entire 6-month season, and for Bob Botcher Park, it is $510 for the 6 months.
Nice. Were they the local last year?
They really wanted down there last year, yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Just got a question on Bob Botcher Park. Were you able to negotiate a better price from the state on that signage?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes and no. If we wanted to have a generic, like a smaller that says county park with an arrow, the price is a little bit less, but it is still really, really high. So, we're into the, I think it was in like the $3,000-$4,000 range, so.
Yeah, I remember it was 5,000.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Okay, just curious.
Okay, number 5, consider approving a work order Minnesota DOT's master partnership contract to provide pavement markings for Houston County.
Yeah, so over the past few years, MnDOT has been striping the county roadways on both center lines and fog lines. We would like to continue with doing that. They've done a good job. They've been able to come down here and do it pretty much on our schedule. If we want some roads striped, not, in the spring, and other roads, we need to have them hold off on striping till later. They will come back and multiple times to get it done on our schedule. To stripe the vast majority, pretty much all the roads in the county that are currently marked to do the center lines and fog lines is $270,339.70. That is slightly more than what we put in our budget for this year, but we also added a few additional roads, knowing that when we looked at what we have for bids coming in and other projects, bids coming in, other projects coming in under budget, and we got additional state aid maintenance money this year. We want to have this agreement to be up at the high end of, if we do all the roadways, we can always take stuff out. So that's my recommendation, is that we approve MnDOT.
What's slightly higher?
Our budget, I think we had 240,000.
And overages on other will cover, that's why you added.
Yes.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Got a motion, second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, number 6, consider approving treated salt quantities for the state cooperative purchase contract.
Yeah, so each year, for the past, I shouldn't say, past couple decades, we've been on the state cooperative purchasing contract for salt. We got onto this after we used to buy salt on our own, and then when you have a year when you have a salt shortage, then you're either not able to get salt or you're paying triple the cost or more to get salt. So it's been advantageous for us to be in on this salt contract. So MnDOT needs to know the quantity by April 3rd on how many tons of salt we want and where it will be delivered to. That way they can get it out there to the vendors for their bids. The quantity that I'm recommending for this upcoming season would be 20% more than what we did contract each of the last few years. Historically, we've been dropping our salt usage kind of each year and trying to keep our usage down. And with the quantity in the contract, we can overrun or underrun by 20%. These past 2 winters, we've exceeded our quantity that's been submitted to MnDOT, so we've been buying about 120% of what's been contracted, which is at the max that we're guaranteed to have. So this next year, I'd like to up that quantity by the 20%. So this year we're taking 120%, and we're still going to be less salt in inventory than what we started the beginning of the winter at. If we have a mild winter, if we don't need the full 20% extra, we can take as little as 80%. So we can go back down to what we've been taking in prior years. So I think it'd be good to up the quantity by 20%, knowing that we can always underrun that by 20% as well to get back to where we've been 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Given the fact that you can lower it 20% if you don't need it, I think we can make that, I'd be in favor of that. I'd make that a motion to approve the treated salt quantities for the state cooperative purchase agreement.
Okay, we got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Number 7, consider accepting a donation to Extension Tismer Farm Safety Day for a total of $2,870 if I'm close there.
And $1,225, which comes out to $4,095.
Okay,
That's a tremendous donation
a
given
huge
by the
donation.
constituents and the businesses of the county. So,
They're gonna eat steak instead of hamburgers this year?
what's that? Yeah, well, that's Cattleman's idea, good choice there, so.
If you wanna donate them steaks, go.
Caledonia Haulers does most of the time.
Okay.
So I make a motion to, accept the donations for, Testmer Farm Safety Day.
I would second that with thanks.
Yep.
For that.
You got a motion and a second with thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, consider rearing payments. Carol. Okay. Anybody on the board got anything for Carol?
We discussed it at finance meeting. I'd make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Coordinator updates.
I don't have a whole lot this morning. Just been playing some catch up for being gone last week. We had department head meeting yesterday, went well. Those notes will be coming out to you today. Tomorrow we have our quarterly safety committee meeting in the EOC in the basement at 9 o'clock, so we'll be having that. And I believe that's all that I have at this moment.
Okay. Move on to board updates. I guess, the only thing that I got is a zoning meeting, and I'm not gonna be able to take part in that, so that's all I know for right now. Oh, we're supposed to put on a action item, right, Eric, for April 7th, for voting on the rifles? Is that what we want done?
It's been talked about, yep.
Do we have a date?
Well, we'll have something April 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, April 7th will be the rifle discussion. Discuss and possibly approve ordinance if that's what you decide to do.
Okay. We're all done then. How about you, Bob Schultz?
So Greg, I didn't
Yep, one
quite
second.
hear you, you're not gonna be able to make the Township Association?
I think I'll make that one, but
Next county, the next meeting?
yeah, April 7th one, I think, or there's one on the 31st too.
Said zoning.
He said,
Oh, zoning, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. That's this Thursday, yeah.
Next Monday night, me and Bob have a Township Association meeting. LC's at 6:30, correct? Yep.
Yes, we do.
Okay, that's all I got.
I attended our solid waste meeting with Olivia. And there was not a lot of changes there for upcoming year. This is there. We have our township meeting coming up, which we got good notice on, so thank you for good notice this time. Should be able to attend.
Well, it ain't that we don't know.
Right? Department head meetings yesterday went well. No major issues with any of the departments. It was probably one of the shorter meetings, so it's very well organized. Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Kurt,
nothing at this time.
Eric?
I don't have a whole lot either. Yesterday, I sat in on a Zoom meeting with AMC on a legislative update, kind of a mid-session where everything's at. Of course, nothing's been real finalized yet, but it was interesting to note that the truancy thing came up, discussion. They're trying to get them to relook at that bill, to modify that bill a little bit. They're not getting anywhere because the author's not, basically not letting it get anywhere, so they're still working on it, trying to get that to modify that a little bit. Because evidently, that changed here in 24. I think Kurt expounded on that at that last meeting, so. They also have another one today at 1 o'clock. And it's particularly just for more detailed discussion on the governor's proposal of taking away some of the eligibility requirement work from the counties and make it become the state's priority to do that. So they're gonna have a discussion on that today. That's at 1 o'clock on a Zoom. That's all I got.
Yeah, I attended the same meeting online as Eric did with the legislative updates, go through, various proposals. One thing that we've learned is that it's, even though there might be proposals out there, nothing is definite until those pass. So we'll have to see what's actually going to fall out of that whole process with legislative update, especially. I've already talked to our human services people as far as what would that mean, and so they're prepared for any changes with that, including updates, which are actually good to technology and reporting and automating some of those systems, which actually would be a good thing. And let's see, the other state meetings I've been involved in were public health meetings, SHAC meetings, and then also just the Department of Public Health. In the last week or so, there's kind of movement from anything that wasn't finished last year, and then also, once again, depending on the legislative needs and requirements, we'll move forward with that. Let's see, what else did I have? Sustainability planning for the area in La Crescent as well. So that, but it does involve some of the environmental services areas in the county and energy use. So that's always interesting and definitely a need to stay on top of that. I have a CELCO meeting today as well, and though they also have legislative proposals on funding for public libraries that I attended a meeting yesterday legislatively that to make sure that that funding is not cut through the federal government and then rolling over into the state. That's about it.
I should mention too, got my first phone call yesterday because tax statements went out. That was more of a question on the valuations increases. So.
We talked about this a bit at finance too, that there's some questions that if taxes are going up because of the valuation. So it's pointing in those departments.
Well,
direction.
I tried to explain that that's not quite necessarily true to an extent, but what it does is raise the tax base. It spreads it, makes it a more lower spread throughout the county. But that's kind of a hard sell when they see their evaluations go up. But a lot of it is, it's all determined by recent sales and Department of Rev requirements to stay within the ranges of, I believe it's 88 to 102%, so. But I'm prepared to hear more probably, so.
Okay.
Good with his speeches today.
Closing public comment. Anybody here got anything that you want to talk about before we close her out? Allison, you want to read the reminders before we adjourn?
Sure. Just a reminder that the residential clean sweep event that's free will be Saturday, April 25th, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. At the Houston County Recycling Center, 105 North Grant Street, Houston, Minnesota. The event is for residential homes in Houston County, and it is limited to the following items: latex paint, gallon size or smaller; oil paint, gallon size or smaller; stains varnish spray paint with original labels on, residential and egg pesticides, limit of 200 pounds, fluorescent, and HID bulbs, residential only. And then there's more information on the Houston County website, or you can call the Environmental Services Office.
Can we clarify that they don't take empty cans?
Well, and another thing too is if the paint is dried out,
Yeah.
that can go directly to the recycling center. It doesn't need to come to this event here, so.
So no empty cans, no dried.
No empty cans and dried paint,
Yep.
that's okay to go right to.
Because mine was rejected, that's why. I know, from personal experience, I brought in a can of dried up
It's
paint.
been a year, get over it. It's all good.
I just remembered, I'm giving my inventory in my head and thinking that I have real paint that I need to dispose. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.